What is going on, everyone? My name is the California Cougar, and today I'm going to be talking about Survivor again, but it's not going to be a season review. I'm going to be talking specifically about Survivor Winners at War. And the reason for this is because the pre-merge is over. We get the merge next week, so I'm going to be talking about the pre-merge a little bit in depth. I'm going to be going into it a little bit, talking about what I think of it, what moves were made, and how I think everybody's doing. And in addition to that, I'm going to talk about some power rankings. And I'm going to update my power rankings for the players still left in the game, and basically where I think each of them stand. And then I'll be talking about Edge of Extinction a little bit as well, and power rankings for the 8 people still out there. And of course, I'm going to talk about Sandra and her quitting Edge of Extinction a little bit as well. So let's get into it. We have a lot to get into, so let's talk about it right now. So first of all, Survivor Winners at War. We are at the end of the pre-merge. 9 people have been voted out. 8 of them remain on Edge of Extinction. 1 person has quit. And yeah, overall, I think it was a very, very solid pre-merge. It's definitely a top-tier pre-merge, I think. Might not be the best. I mean, I don't think it's as good as maybe like Kagayan's or China or anything like that, or even like the first half of Heroes versus Villains pre-merge, or even Ghost Island. I thought Ghost Island had a spectacular pre-merge, but yeah, this is still a top-tier pre-merge for sure. Definitely, I would say, near the top 10, if not in the top 10. It's a very good pre-merge. So, because, yeah, we had a lot of big moves, a lot of unpredictable votes. There were a few predictable ones as well, and there are some big moves as well. So, first of all, some of the unpredictable votes. Ethan, I did not see that coming at all. I loved that boot, even though I love Ethan a lot. Let's see. The first couple boots I didn't see coming. Natalie, I didn't really see Natalie coming. Amber was a little bit more predictable, but not too bad. Danny I never really saw coming. And of course, Sandra's boot is the best in the game so far. It's the best move in the game by Denise. I low-key hope Denise wins this game because of that move. Yeah, we'll talk about Denise a little bit more in depth, but yeah, that was an amazing move. And of course, we had a lot of big moments in there as well. A lot of good challenges too, like the one where DeCall had a huge lead on the puzzle, and then Nick completely blew that puzzle. I forgot who was with him on that puzzle, but you had Wendell on the bench not doing the puzzle, while Adam's still out there for Selle trying to grab a key. And then they pull off the comeback of the century with Rob and Michelle. I think it was Rob and Michelle on the puzzle, and they just tore it. They just owned it. So yeah, that was a big comeback. You have the double elimination week where Yara comes out of nowhere. You have Wendell celebrating too early a couple times, both in the double elimination challenge and the following challenge after that, where he's like, "Watch this, Probst. Hey, Probst, we're almost done here." So yeah, Wendell trash talking and doing all that crazy stuff. He's kind of all over the place this season. You have Tony with the shark, Tony with the ladder, Tony builds another spy shack. That was fun. Idols, there's lots of idols everywhere. You have Tony with Sarah, I don't know what he was putting on Sarah's face when Sarah went to go get the steal a vote advantage. Cops Are Us has made a return. So happy to see that. I thought they were going to be enemies this game. I'm so glad that they decided to align with each other. It was a whole pregame thing. They're friends, so yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I love seeing Tony and Sarah get back together. Like, low-key, I want to see those two on The Amazing Race. I really do. Like, if they ever do another reality star Amazing Race season, Tony and Sarah would be a great couple from Survivor. It would be hilarious to watch. But yeah, Tony doing all sorts of crazy stuff, building another spy shack. Kim, we got to see Kim squirm a little bit in the first episode. Then she kind of found her footing, gave an idol to Sophie. She got an idol back. And of course, Denise with the double idol play. Natalie getting some fire tokens. Rob getting fire tokens. Tyson with the peanut butter. There's lots of great moments. The Edge of Extinction challenge where Amber, Natalie, Ethan, and Danny had to go up the mountain 20 times to get one fire token. That was an amazing segment. One of the best segments one of the best segments of the entire game so far, honestly. I know some people thought it was too long. We don't need to see all these people on Edge of Extinction, especially if none of them are coming back. Or maybe just one of them's coming back, but still. It was an amazing segment to see. A lot of the Edge of Extinction segments were. So yeah, I think Edge of Extinction is playing well into this pre-merge. Is playing well into this season so far. Now, the unfortunate thing about this pre-merge is, yeah, there were some predictable boots. Like, I thought Amber's boot was kind of predictable. Rob's boot was predictable. I mean, Rob got the death confessional. So, like, anytime somebody gets the death confessional, that's a bad sign. And what I mean by death confessional is basically after an immunity challenge, one person from the losing tribe makes a confessional. He's like, yeah, well, we lost the challenge, but you know what? It's a win-win for us because we have people that we can get rid of. That's a bad sign when you get that confessional because it usually means you're getting blindsided. Although I don't really think Rob was blindsided. Rob was way in over his head that time. Like, he was trying to control everything, like making sure that no one was running off. He was paranoid, which is easy to see why, because he was on a tribe where, like, he had 2 old tribe members that hated him, and then 2 other people that he didn't know. So, I mean, he was in trouble right off the bat after the swap. He got totally swap screwed. And yeah, I feel like Parvati got kind of swap screwed as well. I mean, thank God Michelle managed to pull through that. Because, yeah, it would have been crazy. But, yeah, it would have been lame if Michelle had gotten voted out. But, yeah. And then, of course, like Sandra with the double boot, that was an amazing episode. So, yeah, the pre-merge as a whole, I liked it a lot. It is unfortunate that we lost a lot of old school players as well. Like, literally, the oldest season that we have left in the game still is season 23 with Sophie. I mean, everyone that played before season 20 is gone. Like, or is on the edge of extinction, I should say. And so, that's kind of unfortunate, especially for Yule, who was my winner pick this season. Like, and I do think Yule can still win. If he can win the Edge of Extinction challenge, he can definitely still win the game. But, yeah, it's unfortunate that he had to go pre-merge. Same with Rob, and same with Parvati, and Danny as well. I actually had a lot of hope for Danny this season, and Ethan too. Like, I thought Ethan would have been in a very good spot, and even Natalie. Like, Natalie's like the only new school player I think to actually be on the edge of extinction right now. I think. Let me go through the seasons. I mean, Tyson technically is old school because he played season 18. His winning season was Blood vs. Water, but he did play season 18. I mean, Ethan's definitely old school. Danny's old school. Amber's definitely old school. Like, Yule's old school. Rob is pretty old school, even though his winning season was season 22. And Parvati's old school as well. So, yeah, it is a bit unfortunate that we lost all these old school players. They're all on the edge now, but who knows? Hopefully one of them will come back. So, let's get into the power ranking, shall we? So, first of all, I'm going to be ranking them based on who I think or how good of a chance to win I think they have. I think all 11 people in the game definitely have a good shot of winning, but there are some that I think have a better shot than others based on like the editing, some of the moves they made, like where their position is right now. So I'll go over the three tribes first and who's remaining on each tribe. So on the Sele tribe, we have Nick, Wendell, and Michelle. Those are the 3 remaining on the Sele tribe. On the Yara tribe, it's Ben, Adam, Sarah, and Sophie. And then on the Dekal tribe, we have Tony, Kim, Denise, and Jeremy. So those are the 11 people we're looking at. So starting off, number 11, the worst chance of winning, I think, is Adam. I mean, Adam, he's playing so hard. He's being so aggressive this season. In Millennials vs. Gen X, he kind of took a back seat to players like David and Jay and used them as shields so that he was never going to be a target. This season, he's constantly been a target, and I think if it weren't for the swap, he would have gone home if the old Sele tribe had lost another challenge. So, yeah, he's been in a bad position the whole game. And after the Rob boot, like if Yara loses another immunity challenge, I mean, Yara, like the surprise tribe. I thought after Rob was voted out, I thought the Yara had no chance of winning another challenge, but they proved me wrong. They won every single challenge after that, like every single one. So, yeah, good on them. But yeah, Adam, I mean, he was going to be voted out if they ever lost another immunity challenge, and everyone else knows he's a snake. Like Jeremy and Michelle, they know he's a snake. There's people on other tribes that know he's a snake as well. So I'm very nervous for Adam. I mean, the merge is coming. You never know what's going to happen in the merge. This is just based on their pre-merge. But yeah, so I have Adam at number 11. At number 10, I have Wendell, and that's simply because of his trash talking, his constant trash talking, celebrating too early. Like, at a tribal, he basically blew up his own game. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to backstab. I'm like, Wendell, you're digging yourself a grave here, dude. So yeah, I mean, he's got a good alliance with Nick, and I think Michelle's willing to work with him despite their little rivalry. I mean, they used to date at one point, I guess, which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, that whole Sele tribe after the swap was kind of awkward. I mean, Nick mentioning to Parvati that Parvati was his crush at one point. But yeah, Wendell, I think Wendell is kind of in a difficult spot. Maybe he'll be able to work with people that he worked with before, but who knows? His constant trash talking, I think, is going to get him in trouble sooner rather than later. He's going to get blindsided eventually, so I think number 10 is a good spot for him. At number 9, now this is where, I mean, Adam and Wendell were kind of the easy ones to go off, but yeah, number 9, I think he's a little bit higher, but I am nervous for him because he's kind of going back to his old ways a little bit, and that's Tony. Tony, I mean, I think Tony would have been the one voted off if DeCall had lost the immunity challenge last week. So yeah, Tony kind of went back to his old ways. He built a spy shack near the water well, waited there for 4 hours, while Sandra was like, don't go to the water well, don't go to the water well. Tony's probably in a spy shack. They all know Tony's game. Like, Tony can't really do that if he wants to hope to win it. Like, in 4 hours, you could have been looking for an idol. Now, he probably knew that there wasn't an idol out there, or maybe he was too afraid to look for an idol. I'm actually kind of surprised no one thought he was looking for one, considering I don't think Denise ever told anyone about her idol. So, yeah. But maybe they knew about Ken's idol? Who knows? So, yeah, like Tony's going to be in a tough spot. Again, the merge is coming up, so he'll be back with Sarah. Cops R Us will be back together, and maybe he can try and make some moves with Jeremy, but Jeremy thinks he's the biggest threat. Maybe Jeremy will use that and use Tony as a shield. Who knows? Because Tony's probably the biggest threat. Actually, no, Tony is the biggest threat left in the game. So, yeah, and he's not very good at challenges either. And Adam and Wendell, they can hold their own in challenges, I think, but yeah, who knows? So, yeah, number 9, I have Tony. Number 8. Now, this is where the power rankings really start to get difficult. But number 8, I have Denise, and that's simply because she made the biggest move in the game so far by taking out Sandra with her own immunity idol. I mean, that was more Sandra's fault because Sandra did a JT move, but still, like, it looks good for Denise. So, I mean, we already saw how nervous Tony was. I mean, no one else really knows about that, I don't think. So maybe she'll be in a safe spot, but I do worry that, I mean, Tony's going to go off and tell people probably. Will they believe him? I don't know. But, yeah, I could definitely see Tony going off and telling people about her move. So, yeah, that does worry me a little bit, but not too much, though. All right, number 7. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult. Number 7, I mean, it really is tough. But number 7, I do have Ben. I think Ben is in a decent spot overall, but I do think that Sarah and Sophie would be willing to dump him if they needed to, and plus, who knows how much the other people trust him and what he can do. So, yeah, I'm kind of neutral with Ben. I don't really know where he's going to go, but, yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's formed a good relationship with Sarah and Sophie, but, I mean, outside of that, who does he have on the other tribes? I mean, Jeremy, maybe? maybe Denise, but I don't really know about them anymore. So Ben, I mean, I'm kind of neutral on him. Number 6, kind of the same thing. I have Kim, and people know that Kim can still be a big threat, but she's playing a lot more of a subtle game this time, a little bit more under the radar, unlike One World where she was always in control. She's a little bit on the back burner this time. That could work out for her, but, I mean, if she starts winning immunities, I think she's one of the bigger immunity threats left in the game, and if she starts winning immunities, she could definitely be in a world of hurt, I think. So, yeah, Kim, again, a little bit more neutral on her. That's how I feel. Number 5, I have Nick. Kind of the same thing. Like, no one's really looking at him, but I mean, no one's really looking at Nick, but I could see Nick just being, I mean, maybe he'd be a little bit more out there, but yeah, no one's really looking at him. So I think he's in a solid spot. So yeah, number 5 I think is a good spot for him. He's not really doing much. That's the other thing. He's not really doing too much. Alright, number 4, I have Sophie. And the reason why I have Sophie at number 4 is simply because she has an idol. She's in a good spot. She has an idol. However, she's getting kind of cocky, which does worry me about her. I think she's going to get blindsided at one point. The edit's playing her up a lot, much like they did with Kelly Kim in Island of the Idols. Like, they played up Kelly Kim so much before the merge and during the merge episode. So I am a little worried that she could be suffering a blindside. She could be someone that goes home with an idol in her pocket. Hopefully not, but we'll see. I do think Sophie's doing much better this season than she did in South Pacific, though. I think she's playing a much better game. So, yeah, I think Sophie's in a good spot for now. I could see her going a few episodes before the blindside happens, but I'm a little bit worried about that. Now, the top 3, I think, are easily the 3 best in the best position in the entire game. Number 3, I have Sarah. And what a jump Sarah made. I think she was number 18 on my initial power rankings. I thought she was going to be the first boot. Man, did she prove me wrong, because she's in a good position with a lot of people. She's got a steal vote advantage, which I don't think a lot of people know about, if anybody, besides maybe Tony. But yeah, and she can work with Tony, she can work with Sophie, she can work with the other old decall. I could see her working with Kim. So yeah, she's in a very good spot. She could work with Ben if she wanted to. She's in a very good spot right now. I don't really see her going anywhere. I could still see people saying like, oh, she went from cop to criminal, but other than that, like, that's why she's number 3 and not number 2 or 1. But yeah, she's in a very good spot. Number 2, I have Jeremy. And Jeremy, I mean, he's using his meat shield strategy, and it's working for him. He still has the advantage where he can walk out of tribal at pretty much any time before the vote. Like, he's going to use that at some point, I think. And no one's really looking at him as a threat. He can work with a lot of people. Michelle, Nick, I could see her working, or I could see him working with Michelle and Nick, and even Wendell, and Denise, of course, is on his good side. Kim, Tony. He's got a lot of people that he can work with. Even Ben. And maybe even Adam. Who knows? But, yeah, Jeremy's in a very, very good spot. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Which leaves us with number 1, the best position in the game so far, and that's Michelle. I mean, Michelle is proven to everybody right now that she is a force to be reckoned with, and that she deserved her win in Season 32. She's playing that up so much in her confessionals. She's like, oh, people don't think I deserved to win. Well, guess what, girl? You're proving it right now that you did deserve to win, and you do deserve to be in this game, because, man, she's playing out of her mind. And no one's really looking at that. I mean, she should have been voted off after the Satellite Tribe lost, because Nick, Wendell, and Yule were all in such a good alliance. But somehow she escaped with no votes. She's got no votes against her, despite her alliance with Parvati, and despite her relationship with everyone else. She's making great social bonds. Like, I mean, she's good with Nick and Wendell. I think Nick and Wendell want to work with her. She gave Wendell a fire token, which is a surprising move, but yeah, like, I think she wants to work with people, and she's willing to work with just about anybody. She's also very forgiving when her allies are voted out. So, yeah, she's in a great position right now. she didn't vote correctly for the first couple votes on that Sele tribe, but she has over the past few tribals. So, yeah, she's worked her way in. She's getting strong. I don't see her going anywhere for a long time. So, yeah, like, I could see her winning this season. I really can. So, yeah, I think she's in the best position in the game so far. Michelle is at number 1. Alright, so let's get into the Edge of Extinction. So, yeah, Edge of Extinction, the challenge to get back in the game is next week. We're going to have the first challenge. We have 8 people left. Those 8 people are Natalie, Amber, Danny, Ethan, Tyson, Rob, Parvati, and Yule. So I'm going to go who I think has the least chance to win to who has the most or who has the best chance to win. So starting off, I think the person with the least chance to win is Danny. I mean, Danny's been basically silent ever since she got to Edge of Extinction. Really, the only time she really had any confessionals was when they were doing the 20 times up the mountain challenge. That was really it. So, yeah, like, she's been silent the whole time. She doesn't have any fire tokens. Or no, she has 1 fire token from the 20 times challenge, but that's really it. She hasn't really done anything else. She caught a fish. I mean, yay, good for her, but that's not really going to help you in the challenge, I don't think. So, yeah, Danny, I have 8. I don't think she can get back in, at least not this time. Number 7, I have Amber, and that's simply because, again, Amber's had a couple confessionals. She has had more confessionals than Danny, but she hasn't really done anything outside of the 20 times up the hill challenge. Like, she really hasn't done anything. So, yeah, I don't think Amber's in a very good spot. And plus, she's not a big physical threat either. So, yeah, I don't think she's going to do too well in that challenge. Now, coming in at number 6. Now, it was a little bit tricky, but I have Ethan at number 6. He's a bit of a dark horse pick because some of his confessionals have been a little bit more inspirational. Like last week when he was talking to Parvati about his body and like the kind of mental shape he was in bad shape. But because of that, I just don't think he can win a challenge. Like, his confessionals are super inspirational, especially during the 20 times up the mountain. Like, a lot of that was driven by Ethan, and like, it was so inspirational. Just finished it out. He had to take breaks, but he finished it out. That was so moving. He's one of the most moving players of the season for sure. And he is a little bit of a dark horse pick to get back in the game late, I think. But I don't think he's in a good spot right now. He only has 1 fire token. I don't really see him doing too much. Number 5, I have Yule. And that's mainly because, he was just voted out. I think between him and Parvati, I have Parvati at number 4. Like, between him and Parvati, they're really interchangeable. They don't have any fire tokens as far as I know. And we haven't really seen too much of them since they got voted out. We saw a little bit of Parvati. But, again, most of that's because they just got out there. But, yeah, I don't really see them. I don't see them getting back in this time. But they're dark horse picks. Kind of like Ethan. So, yeah, that's where I have them. Coming in at number 3, I have Boston Rob at number 3. Boston Rob, he's always been a challenge competitor, a pretty big challenge competitor, and he has 3 fire tokens, so he can easily buy an advantage in the challenge if he wanted to. The reason why I don't have him higher is simply because the other 2 people I think are just a little bit stronger than he is in challenges, and I think overall they have a better chance. And plus they've done more. They've all gotten fire tokens. But Rob, he showed himself last week by getting 3 fire tokens, and I think he does have a strong chance to get back in the game. Coming in at number 2, I have Natalie, and Natalie, we saw what she was doing those first 4 episodes, where she was literally the only one getting fire tokens, and she sent advantages to people in the game. I think if she does get back in the game, she could get a good spot, and she definitely has a good chance of getting back into the game too. She's got 4 fire tokens, I believe, so she can easily buy an advantage, and she could buy some food along with that, which is definitely going to help her. So yeah, I think Natalie's in a good spot to get back in the game. But number 1, I have Tyson. Physically, he's the strongest competitor out there. He also bought peanut butter, and he has another fire token, so if he ran out of peanut butter, he could easily buy more. he probably won't get an advantage in the game, but I don't think he really needs one because he's already so strong in physical challenges. So yeah, that's my guess who gets back in the game. I think Tyson is going to be the one to get back in the game. That's my guess. But yeah, I mean, Natalie, Tyson, Rob, I really think any of those three could get back into the game. But if I had to put money on somebody, my money's on Tyson because of the peanut butter and just his will, his physical strength, and all that. I think he's got the best shot. So that's it for the Edge of Extinction. Now, how do I think the merge is going to go? Really? I think it depends on who gets back into the game. It'll be interesting to see who gets back into the game, but yeah, the merge, I'm excited for it. I hope an old school player gets back into the game. I really do. Like, nothing against Natalie Anderson, but I want to see the old schoolers play. So I'd love to see someone like Danny, Amber, Ethan, Rob. I'd love to see any of them get back into the game. Yule, but I mean, just based on what we've seen so far, I think Tyson's going to be the one. All right, last thing we need to talk about is Sandra. Sandra quit the game, plain and simple. She quit. Like, okay, so Sandra figured, I'm not going to win a challenge, which is a fair prediction because she sits out every challenge. There's a reason Jeff Probst called it the Sandra bench, and Parvati as well. Like, there's a reason they call it the Sandra bench. Take a spot on the Sandra bench. She doesn't participate in challenges because she's weak. She's the weakest one out there physically. But, I mean, you never know what the challenge could be. It could be an endurance challenge for all we know. And based on what we've seen of the challenge, like press photos and all that, it looks like it's going to be the same challenge that was used in Season 38 when Rick Devens returned to the game. It looks like it's going to be the same challenge, which is something I think Sandra wouldn't be too bad at. But, I mean, you never know. There could be a puzzle. Russell Hant said it best. You never know what could happen. So, yeah, I think she quit the game. I really do. Whether you think it's justifiable or not, I mean, it's really up to you. I didn't really have too much of a problem until she had the audacity to say this. I'm still the queen and I'll always stay the queen. I'm sorry. Not only did you get owned by Sarah in Game Changers, you got owned by Denise in this game, and now you quit the Edge of Extinction. Like, even though if you stay on Edge of Extinction, you get to be a part of the jury. Russell didn't mention that at all, but you get to be a part of the jury and deciding who wins $2 million. Obviously, Sandra wanted nothing to do with that. She didn't want to decide if it's not her, she doesn't want it to be anybody else. So she refuses to decide who's going to win $2 million. It really is pathetic for a queen to quit the game like that. And, like, that's not what a queen would do. So, in my mind, she's not the queen anymore. She really isn't. We're either going to get a new queen this season, or maybe we get a king. Who knows? But, honestly, I don't think a queen can say that. Like, just stay in the game. Stick it out. At least stay until after the challenge. Because, again, you never know what the challenge is going to be. If you want to quit the game after that, fine. But at least stay in the challenge. Have some respect for the game. Edge of Extinction is part of the game. And we all know that if, like, they had the option to leave, like in Season 38 when it was grab the torch, or if you don't want to play anymore, you can just leave, she obviously would have left, I'm pretty sure. But, come on. Like, that's a quit. Come on. Yeah, Queen Sandra, the most overrated player of all time. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Because but she won twice. No other player's done that. And outside of an all-winner season. But guess what? She got lucky in Pearl Islands and she got lucky in Heroes vs. Villains. Plain and simple. She did better in Heroes vs. Villains. I'll give her credit for that. But she got lucky in Pearl Islands because Fair Play dragged her sorry ass all the way to the end. Russell did the same thing in Heroes vs. Villains. But she won because of a bitter jury in Heroes vs. Villains. Like, the jury was so bitter towards Parvati and Russell, they refused to vote for Sandra. So, yeah, like, that's my thoughts on Sandra. Good freaking riddance. I don't ever want to see her play again. I mean, she said she's retiring after this season. Let's hope she keeps her word on that. And she doesn't come back for, like, a legend season or anything like that. Because, I'm so over her. And I used to love Sandra in Pearl. I liked Sandra in Pearl Islands, even though she was kind of a goat. And same thing with Heroes vs. Villains. I liked Sandra a lot. But in Game Changer, she showed her true colors. She got all cocky. She thinks she's all self-entitled because she's the queen of Survivor, right? She's the only two-time winner. Yeah, congratulations on your 2 wins. I can't take that away from her. But still, to call yourself a queen even after you got owned in the game twice, and then you decide to raise the flag and not stay out there, compete, or be a part of the jury. I don't know how you can call yourself a queen after that. So those are my thoughts on Sandra's quits. Those are my power rankings, my thoughts on the pre-merge as a whole. What did you guys think about them? Let me know down in the comments below what your power rankings would be, what your Edge of Extinction power rankings would be, what you think of Sandra's quit, and what you think of the pre-merge as a whole. Let me know down below what you think of the season so far. So, yeah, let me know down below. Hit the thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the future. Not really too sure what I'm going to do yet. It might be the Thailand review. Who knows? But yeah, subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the future. And until the next video, once again, my name is the California Cougar. And always remember, stay California cool. Peace.